Hello, my friends, and welcome back to day 12 of our 12 days of Christmas. We have made it through all 11 days up till now, and now we are on day 12 on Christmas Eve 2025. And this is going to be an extra special show because I have been told that at some point during this episode that Santa's going to show up. So let's hope so. So you're going to have to let me know if you see him because I'm got to focus right in here on this so that I'm doing my show. But you'll have to let me know if he sneaks in here. Then we'll have to just wait and see. Let's fingers crossed. I know he's busy tonight, so let's hope. That would be awesome. Now you may be thinking, wait a minute, where's the movie poster if you were on our YouTube or our Rumble accounts? Well, that's the thing. We're not talking about a specific movie today. We are talking about the plethora of our 12 days of Christmas, and we're going to be doing some recap a little bit. And so this is going to be a special bonus episode, and you're not going to want to miss a moment. We are going to be talking about our prizes. We are going to be talking about our questions. I'm going to be giving a few extra clues away if you might be missing a few things up until now, maybe just a little bit. I'm not going to make it too easy. Don't worry, I'm not going to make it too easy. Nothing even close to that. But this is going to be a lot of fun, so I'm hoping you are here with me as we do this. So it's just like, Christmas is my favorite time of the year. Christmas is all about family. Christmas has not always been my favorite time of the year. For a long time, or not, I wouldn't say a long time, but there were a lot of years as a child that Christmas was difficult for me to celebrate due to a very specific memory that I had one year that I refer to it a lot of times as something that broke me, and I will probably share that story after Christmas because I do not want to dampen anybody's Christmas spirit on Christmas Eve of all days. As we all know, the reason for the season is not Santa, it's not the trees, it's not the presents, but it is our Lord and Savior. So that is the reason for the season ultimately. I don't talk about religion a whole lot because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but it's a very deep rabbit hole and there's a lot to learn and a lot to remember. But remembering the reason for the season and the things that are really important is the most important. And I'm celebrating with my husband and our son tomorrow, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. And I'm hoping maybe my sister can pop by. It's a very small family, but it's a close family. And like with Stitch and the whole Lilo and Stitch thing is basically our family is little and broken, but still good. Good. But yeah, that's kind of mine. It's like I've come from a huge family, but the things happen with family sometimes. And so family is what you make it. And my family consists of my husband, my son, and my sister, first and foremost. So I hope that you are celebrating whether or not you have a little bitty family or a big family or anywhere in between, or maybe you have more friends that are family. Honestly, that's like my sister. We've been friends for decades, and so she is more family than friends, so she's my sister. That's kind of how that works. So there may not be a blood relation, but you don't have to have blood relation to have people that you love and care about to be considered family, and that says a lot right there. Now, we have gotten so many requests, and we are coming up on 7,000 responses that I have gotten. My brain cannot even fathom all of that. But the amount of correct responses doesn't necessarily melt in with everything else. Now, I didn't think I made this year too awful difficult, but I guess, some of the questions were a little harder than others, and we're going to be recapping through those. So if you don't want to go back through and listen to all of the other podcasts, you don't necessarily need to, but there's going to be clues in there for some of these that I'm not going to give away today. So you might have to go back through and check out those particular days, but I'll touch on that as we go. So you may be wondering, what are the prizes? You're like, okay, I don't remember what you talked about on day 6 anymore. So you've got to refresh my memory. So this is what we're doing. If you have been submitting guesses for our 12 days of Christmas, if you get all 12 right, and let's say you're the only person that gets all 12 right, then the grand prize consists of a custom hoodie, a $50 gift card to either the theater in your area or to Amazon, that's your choice, a tote bag, and a custom ornament. Now, I will be reaching out to the winner to get their size and everything for the custom hoodie. But what you're like, wait, what if there's multiple winners? Well, if there ends up being multiple winners, I am going to put everybody's name on like one of those dial things. I would do it live here on camera to show that it's all legit and up to snuff and everything on that. And then the winner would be chosen that way. As of right now, we do not have 11 correct answers. Obviously, you don't know today's 12's question yet. But as of right now, the most that anybody has right is 8. And so I encourage everybody to keep submitting their guesses because, and you're like, wait, what if nobody gets all 12 right? Well, then it's just going to be whoever gets the most right. And again, let's say we have multiple people. Let's say we get multiple people get 10 right. Again, I'm going to go do the whole wheel thing where you put all the names in the wheel and then you hit the spin and that's how it would be chosen that way. And you may be thinking, wait, when are you going to be announcing these winners? Well, Christmas is falling tomorrow, which is Thursday. Today's Wednesday. And because I have gotten such an overwhelming response, I mean, we got what did I get last year? 703 total responses. And this year we're almost 10 times that. And it's just me. So I'm going through all of these messages and just going... And mind you, some of them are easy to weed out, and we're going to talk about that as we go back to the questions here. And like I said, I'm not going to make it too easy, but I don't want to make it too hard either. But so that would be our grand prize for the 12 Days of Christmas Trivia. Now, I'm also going to be drawing 10 runner-ups. So let's say I get a bunch of, I'm just going to throw a number. Let's say I get 100 people out there that get the answer right. I'm going to draw for the grand prize, but I'm also going to draw 10 more times for the 10 runner-ups. Now, let's say I only get one person that gets the most right, and then I have a bunch of, then the next kind of, let's say I get one person that gets 11 out of 12, and then I have one person that gets 10 out of 12, and two people that get 9 out of 12. I would just stagger it down that way, but I would also be doing that live so that kind of what's going on with that, but I will disclose all of that. And I will be announcing the answers to the trivia questions and the winners on Monday. And Monday I've got to look at my calendar here. I should have looked at that before I opened this up. Let's see. Monday is December 29th. And so on Monday's episode, that's when I will be announcing our winners. And that's when I will also be giving away the answers to the trivia. So you can, I was going to cut off the answers tonight at midnight, but because of the overwhelming responses that we've had, and because I did end up doing Christmas Eve's show today as an evening episode, I'm going to be extending the time that you can submit your answers until tomorrow night at midnight. So Christmas night at midnight Central Standard Time. You can keep submitting your answers until then. Any answers submitted after midnight Central Standard Time are not going to be admissible. So be sure to get your answers in for that. Now, we are a long, long ways from our bonus thing of our subscriptions. And I'm having to go to my phone here because I didn't open up YouTube to see how many subscribers I actually have. But we unfortunately did not get anywhere near the number of subscribers. I am at 2.24 thousand, so to 2,240-ish subscribers. And I was really hoping, it's still possible to hit 5,000 subscribers by tomorrow night at midnight. And if we do that, if we can hit 5,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel by tomorrow night at midnight, I'm giving one lucky subscriber movie tickets for a year. Now, what that is, that will be 4 tickets a month for an entire year. And that would start in January and it would end in December. And what that's going to consist of is 4 regular movie tickets. That's not going to include any upcharges for like any special of the screens with the bigger screens or the fancy stuff, or anything with any special dream loungers or anything with 3D. That would be an additional charge, but these are just basic level movie tickets. That would be 4 tickets a month for an entire year. So you want to get this out there. Of course, we want to put this out there and kind of keep things going, just because it's going to be exciting as all of this stuff is happening. And I don't want to miss a single moment of this, because I really think we can do it. I really think we can do something like that. And the fact that we've had such an overwhelming response this year to the questions and to the submissions and stuff coming in, and I'm loving seeing all this stuff. And yes, I did have to say the whole thing about the Star Spangled Banner the other day. I mean, that's not even a Christmas carol, but I do hope that he has submitted another answer by now. Like I said, I've got all of these emails to go through, and that's going to take me a couple days, which is why I'm not announcing any winners tomorrow, because this is going to take me a few days to kind of sort through everything because it's just kind of like overwhelming, especially if it's just me. Now, mind you, I'm not complaining in the least. I love it. I love the interaction and seeing how much fun people are having with this and little notes that people are adding in on their answers. And it has just warmed my heart to see this. And mind you, okay, I've got some negative stuff coming through too, but I'm choosing to focus on the positive because it's a once a year opportunity to do this because we've got our 12 days of Christmas. Now, I am considering doing a special kind of event later on in 2026. But our 12 Days of Christmas event is going to become an annual event because this has just been so much fun. I love the responses. I love the feedback. And honestly, I'm having a blast too, talking about all these different movies. Now, you may be thinking, wait a minute, you're kind of forgetting something. Well, all of these movies, now mind you, we did stop at 11. So it's our 12 Days of Christmas, but we have 11 movies. So yeah, because I ran out of fingers yesterday. So we have 11 movies. And all of those 11 movies have something in common. Now, a clue that I'm going to be giving you on that, since none of the guesses have been correct on that, there's a lot of a particular theme that people are going towards, that they think that that's what it is. And there are no correct answers yet. I will say that, at least of the emails that I have gone through, I have not seen any correct answers on what the consistent thing is that all of these movies have in common. It's not necessarily a theme as it's so much something that they all have in common. So it kind of is a theme, but kind of not. And my clue for what the thing is it is a noun. Now, this is going to be going back to our school days, but for those that don't remember what a noun is, it is a person, place, or thing. So that is what all of these movies have in common. So it is a noun. So hopefully that will generate some responses of something that could be what they would all have in common. Now, you may be thinking, wait, you've been talking about all these movies. How am I supposed to remember what they are? Sorry, my alarm went off from one of my medications. So I apologize. I had to silence that real quick. But I'm going to be covering back what the movies are with you right now. We started on day 1 with the movie 2012. Day 2 was Midway. Day 3 was the movie Moonfall. Day 4 was Independence Day, a big hit everywhere. Number 5, Independence Day Resurgence. Number 6, this one threw some people. Number 6, we did Godzilla. And it's like, what does that have to do with it? Number 7, we did a movie called Truth. Number 8, a movie called The 13th Floor. Day 9, we did a movie called Balloon, which is entirely in German. It's one that you have to watch you have to pay attention to the subtitles, but it is based on a true story, as is Truth. Number 9, Stargate. That was number 10. And number 11, The Day After Tomorrow, as we did yesterday, the day after tomorrow is Christmas. So that was kind of a little bit of a play on words too. That doesn't have anything to do with what all the movies have in common, but I had to do that. Now, you're going to want to go back and rewatch these reviews because in the trailers that I specifically chose to use during my reviews, there is a clue in the majority of them. And one of them, it's very blatant what the answer is. So if you're paying attention to all of that, you're not going to want to miss a single second because, like I said, you might want to go back and just kind of go back and rewatch those. Now, the podcast, you may not catch it as easily. There was only one reference in the audio portion of any of the trailers that would say it actually says what the answer is at one point. What the noun is mentioned in one of the trailers. So, but you'll want to come over and check out the video portion of these to find out what that secret was. So I really hope you can figure out the theme. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, the winner of the theme, if anybody gets that correct, will be a $25 gift card to either the theater of your choice or to Amazon and a Movie Deputy tote bag. And these are a limited edition tote bag. They are no longer in production, and I only have a handful of them left. So if you are lucky enough to get one of these, trust me, you are going to love it. They're nice big canvas tote bag. They're good quality. And everybody that I know that I've ever given them to loves them. So I am so excited about doing all of this. Now, you may be thinking, wait, you said you were going to tell us about the questions. And I'm getting to that. I'm just thinking, it's like I'm sitting here with my phone and we haven't heard anything from Santa yet. So I'm hoping he has time to stop in and make an appearance tonight. But if not, I completely understand. As after all, it's Christmas Eve. He's got a lot of work to do. So, but on day 1 of 12, what was the question? Do you remember? This one was a two-parter. And I want to remind you that it is 2 parts. But what's the question from day 1 is what popular Christmas carol was written for another holiday? And that was part 1. And part 2 is what was the holiday? So again, that's a 2-part question of which Christmas carol was written for a different holiday and what was the holiday? So that hopefully that'll kind of jog a couple people's memories. Now this one, on day 2, we did a question that basically all it does is involve math. Now I've gotten some unusual responses on this one. Because the question is, how many gifts would you receive if you received all of the gifts of the 12 days of Christmas? And I've had a lot of people just guess 12, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of see how they got to that answer, but that's not the correct answer. I've also had people go, but it's just 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7, all the way down to 1, that should be the correct answer. And again, you got to put a little bit more thought into it than that, because I will let you know right now that is not the correct answer. So you're going to have another chance to answer that if you choose to. So that's a little bit of a clue towards that. Day 3. Now, this appears to be my question that has probably stumped most of my listeners and my watchers. But this one, it seems a lot more complicated than it is. And once you hear the answer, when I talk to you about that on Monday, you're probably going to facepalm and go, oh my word, how did I not get that? But yeah, this has been just so much fun with that. But the question that I'm referring to is, got to get back to my note here, because I've kept notes during all of this because, okay, I've got a great memory, but even my memory isn't good enough to remember all of these just by themselves. But if you've ever seen like the classic movie, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, if you have, I'm sure you'll remember it. If not, please check it out, because you still have time to get this answer into this question. But what Christmas special has something in common with the movie It's a Mad, 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 Mad World? Now, the clue that I'm going to give you on this is the special is animated. Now, does that help it a whole lot? And the thing is, there's actually a bonus point to this one too. So if you can figure out what Christmas special I'm referring to, but there's actually 2 animated Christmas specials that have something in common with It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. I know it sounds like I'm just sitting there with But yeah, there's actually 2 animated Christmas specials that have something in common with that movie. And if you get one or the other, you'll get that entry. Or if you get both, you will get 2 entries for that. So again, that's a possible 2-point question. You don't have to get both the points to get that correct. As with the first question, if you get 1 point but not the other, that will still count. So I just like to be fair on that. But the clue is that it is animated. So hopefully that'll help a few people get that figured out. Now, on day 4, this one, I can kind of see where a lot of people were going with the way that they were talking about it and the way they were thinking about it. But some of the answers I have gotten have been just surprising in every way possible. But day 4's question was, what was the first Christmas special ever aired on television? Now, again, this was animated, and I will say a lot of people guessed Rudolph. Now, I'm not going to tell you what the correct answer is, but I will let you know that if you guess Rudolph, you might want to do a little bit more research. Now, is it connected to Rudolph? I'm not going to either confirm or deny that, but it is something that is definitely memorable. And considering we are in the day and age of social media and Google or any other search engine that you use, a lot of these are not too hard to figure out, but it puts a little bit of thought into it. Now, on our day 5 question, this one ended up being bit more confusing than I ever meant it to. I did not mean that at all. And I actually thought this would have been an easier one to figure out. And nobody has guessed this correct yet. We've had a lot of responses on it, but nobody has gotten it correct. And it might make it a little bit easier with a clue that I'm about to give you. But the question was, what popular Christmas movie was called Glittering Frostwork by a well-known author of the day? And what author said it? So this is a two-part question again, because it's which popular Christmas movie was called Glittering Frostwork by a well-known author? And then the second part of that is who was the author? Now, my clue on this is with Glittering Frostwork. Frostwork is one word. It's not two. So it's not frostwork. It's just one word, frostwork. So I don't know if that'll make it any easier for any of my participants, but hopefully that might make it just, I'm not trying to make it easy, but I don't want to make it so difficult where people get frustrated either. So I'm hoping that'll help. Now, our sixth question, there are so many people that got this right. I actually thought this might have been a little bit harder to figure out, but there are so many people that got this. Now, I've had a few kind of just off-the-wall guesses too, but a lot of people guess at least the region of countries. And so, but I probably had about 80% of the responses on this one be correct. And that would be, in what country, and this is again day 6, in what country would you find fried chicken as the traditional Christmas dinner? And specifically KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. So that was our day 6 question. Like I said, that one was, I guess, a lot easier than I thought it would be. Now on day 7, this one, I guess, kind of was confusing to people too, but I've gotten a lot of responses of like, I've always loved this. I had no idea that this character was created by Montgomery Ward. And the surprise that it is kind of done with people, it's just been a lot of fun. And I like that people can be surprised by this stuff too. And it's like, oh my word, I had no idea. And I love reading that. It's almost like the giddiness of being a little kid all over again. And it's just the excitement, and it just kind of envelops all of it. And it's just, like I always say, this is an adventure. And I'm just so glad that you shared this with me. Now, on our day 7 question is, which Christmas carol was created, which Christmas character was created by Montgomery Ward? And again, you're not going to give out the answers until Monday. But yeah, it's a pretty famous Christmas character, and they were created by Montgomery Ward. And if you're too old to remember what Montgomery Ward was, it was a department store like Sears, like JCPenney, like Macy's, all Dillard's, all of those. But that's what Montgomery Ward was, is it was a department store. And so they actually created one of the most iconic Christmas characters. So I hope you can get that one figured out. Now, number 8, our day 8, this is another 2-part question. What is the longest Christmas song, and how long is it? So I not only want the title of the song, I want the length of the song. Now, I don't just want the generalized length. I can't talk today. I want hours and minutes. Now, you did hear me right. I'm saying hours because the longest Christmas song is a long song. Have I ever listened to it all the way through? I have to admit that I have not. But I probably will at some point, or at least do it in sections just because of the length of it. But it's one that it definitely has my attention. And when I was researching to kind of look up which questions and trivia and stuff I wanted to do for this, I came across that and I'm like, that can't be right. I looked it up and I'm like, oh, wow. Do you ever do that where it's like you get something in your head and then you go look it up and then it's kind of confirmed and your brain just kind of like tilt, like, huh? It's just one of those things like, wow. But yeah, that's one of those. So that, again, that is a 2-part question of hours and minutes, as well as the title of the song. Now, on day 9, this one is a little bit more of a historical fact about Christmas, but I'm asking, what was the first artificial Christmas tree made out of? The very first artificial Christmas tree, what was it made out of? Again, that's one of those things where a search engine might be your friend, and I've had a lot of really creative guesses. I think one of my favorite guesses, I'm assuming it was done by somebody younger. I don't want to try to make assumptions on that a whole lot, but they guessed Legos, and honestly, that made me smile. It's not the correct answer, but I just thought it was such a cute answer that they thought that the very first artificial Christmas tree was made out of Legos. So that just kind of made my heart smile. So And just that's another thing. I read all of the responses, even the silly ones. Like I read every single response, and it's just it's and especially if they have a personal note, it's like that just it touches something right here. It just does something really special. Now, day 10. Which of Santa's reindeer has the same name as another holiday mascot? That one I wouldn't think would be too difficult to figure out, but I've had a variety of answers on that so far. So it'll just be interesting to see where that goes. And then yesterday's question, and this one I didn't think it was quite as difficult as I thought it was, but it has to do with the story A Christmas Carol. And the question is, how many ghosts show up in A Christmas Carol? Now, I did say don't jump to conclusions or take like what you think might be the first answer, because it's more obvious than it seems, and it's also not as obvious as it seems. So it's kind of both. But the answer is, it's like I said, it's kind of obvious, but kind of not. So I just want people to make sure that they're thinking on that one too, because there's a little bit more to it than what it seems. And again, that was how many ghosts do we see in A Christmas Carol? Now, on today, the last day of our 12 days of Christmas, this is honestly probably my easiest question. Or at least in my brain, I would think it's the easiest question. So I'm hoping that you think so too. But today's question on day 12 of our 12 days of Christmas is, what is Santa's real name? So again, it's maybe more obvious than it seems, or it's maybe less obvious than it seems, but yes, that's all I want to know for day 12 is, what is Santa's real name? And I wish you the best of luck on these 12 questions. Of course, I wish you the best of luck on figuring out what our theme is that goes across all 11 of our movies. This has been so much fun, and I'm so sad that Santa wasn't able to make it this year. So that just, it happens. But if you want to go back, I actually got to talk to him a few years ago, and there's actually one of our podcasts, that my phone call with Santa, I actually got to talk to him, and that was so much fun. And so I'm hoping that one of these years I'll get to be able to do that with him again, hopefully on Christmas Eve or Christmas after he's done, well, at least after he takes this long nap, because I know if I had to travel around the world and deliver all those gifts, I would be exhausted. So, and yes, I'm 51 years old and I still believe in the idea of Santa Claus. Absolutely. There's just something magical about it. So feel free to make fun of me for that if you want, but it is just, there's something special at the heart of it. So I hope that you have had fun with this adventure with us here at Movie Deputy. I hope that you like, subscribe, and share. Again, you have until Christmas Day, the night of Christmas at midnight Central Standard Time to get those guesses in. And like I said, I wish all of you the best of luck, and I can't wait to read all of the responses. So we are not going to have any shows up until Monday, when we do our reveal, and then of course I'll have a movie review for you up that day as well. And we're going to be back to our Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday schedule, and we're going to be announcing some other big things after the first of the year. So be sure to stay tuned. I can't wait to have more adventures with you, and we're wrapping up 2025 and celebrating Christmas. Go out there, be blessed, and have a wonderful time. All my love, everybody. Bye-bye.